How you doing on that annual plan? We are now in the second quarter of 2021. This is about the time I encourage people to go back, if you have yet to do so, and look at your annual written plan. What did you establish at the beginning of the year that you would be doing? The energy and the effort that you would put into your life in the various areas that matter to you, and how have you been tracking against that plan? How many of you actually went and downloaded from the Kasandravitacca.com website the goals wheel? Not that it's special, but it's a visual and it helps. And how many of you watched the video, the half-an-hour video about annual plans prosper? How many of you actually went and downloaded the annual budget from the Kasandravitacca.com and watched the video about, the Holy Grail is the budget, right? The Holy Grail of wealth is the budget. How many of you went and purchased my book and therefore wanted to understand how do you increase your overall happiness as you follow a plan, a formula for your life? Here's the deal. I'm asking these questions because there are ways to help yourself. And so it's about time to pause and ask yourself, am I doing that which will help me? The research proves, the reason why this book is written is because there's research to prove how you can increase your overall happiness in every area of your life. So have you learned that? Research proves those who have an annual written budget and an annual written plan are more successful, happy, wealthy, healthy in all areas of their life. This is research driven, and therefore I come to you and say, hey, have you done your part? Folks, I want to speak to you a little bit today about what I have learned, and I want to share with you because of what I personally experienced as I have participated in the annual writing process since I was in high school. I am 51 years old. I graduated in 1988. I had been writing annual plans of some sort, writing something down in some form or fashion, and because we have computers now, it really wasn't until about the 2000s that I actually started then putting all of this information on computers. So I have a true record. I didn't necessarily save all the paperwork from before. But when I went back and looked at what I had done over the years, what does this annual planning process really look like for me? I know it, generally speaking, because I know my life. I can track the progress. But I want to see on paper, what did I really say? So bear in mind, I have an entire goals folder. So it contains not only my annual written plan and my annual budget, but it contains things that matter to me to help me with my plan. I have the 10 Commandments. I have it from when the 10 Commandments is expressed in Exodus and when it's expressed in Deuteronomy. Because this is a guiding principle for my life, and so I want to make sure I understand this and I keep it near and dear to me. I have some scripture that I've parsed through Hebrew that matters to me, that affects my life. I have I have questions. There's a whole series of questions with scripture that I have used and I answer over time. I've kept documents like this in this folder. I keep, in the folder I have cards from people that they have mailed to me, about emails they have sent to me, information from people that have texted to me, just telling me how I impact their life, just so I can help myself remember why I'm doing what I'm doing. My folder contains things that as I look at my life and I look at my annual plan and I try to assess, am I fulfilling what I want to fulfill so that I can achieve the highest level of happiness for myself? Again, I'm looking at the data, right? I'm looking at my data. This folder's full of the data. It's also full of my belief systems. It's also full of those cards of thank you and appreciation. Help me when I'm emotionally down about what I'm achieving, right? Am I taking the right action? And those letters of those texts, those emails, those cards tell me you're doing the right thing, Kasandra, so that I don't get too lost. So here I am looking at examining my 2021 plan. It's April. It's time to look at the first quarter. What have I done over the course of the first quarter? How am I tracking? Do I want to continue with the plan that I established in the beginning? Does it still make sense as I move forward? There are a couple things I've X'd off. They don't make sense anymore for me. Other things have replaced them. Some things haven't replaced any of them. You adjust. As I did that, I decided to go ahead and look at what have I actually done over the course of all these years. And it was fun to look at the documents, folks. It was a blast. What I discovered was, again, in the beginning, I would keep my goals and my plan and my vision more like a document, like a letter I'm writing to myself. It was basically based on a series of questions. In fact, this is called 10 Weekly Questions. I renamed the 10 Weekly Questions, because again, this is what I started with way back when, about 15 years ago. I renamed it 10 Weekly Questions to walk in God's will, stay on his path, right? So now I have a little bit bigger vision than just Kasandra. So these aren't just 10 weekly questions. These are 10 weekly questions about my walk with the Lord and how it manifests in the world. And so again, things get edited. I went back and looked at documents like this. I have documents. In the beginning, it didn't always look like a goals wheel. I started using variants of this goals wheel, pieces of my pie. I used to call it the pie of life. I started using this and questions kind of intermittently. In the last decade, I've really been kind of promoting this because it's a quick, simple visual. Went back and looked at all those things. What's fascinating is the number of times that goals that I wrote in the early 2000s, the actual physical manifestation of those goals has occurred. Every single one of the goals that I set to achieve back in the early 2000s, again, this is where I have record of them, every single one of them has been achieved, and I mean exponentially so. And I mean sometimes to the crossing of the T and dotting of the I exactly like that, and sometimes not exactly in that physical manifestation that it was defined, but in the desire of my heart. For example, this one was weird to me, and this is why it's fun to write this stuff. I wrote the book, The Happiness Formula, in 2018. That's when the vision was given to me to write the book. I have said over and over again, I had no desire to write a book. The book was published in 2019. In 2018, yes, I had written down as one of my annual goals, kind of as a way to, an image for what I was trying to achieve. The image was write a book. It was the image. It wasn't that I would actually write a book. I was hoping that the goal was, I want to educate, deliver information, be an effective speaker, be an effective teacher, be an effective coach. And so the visual of writing a book, right? I want to give my knowledge, my research to people, make it available. So I had written write a book, but I didn't really mean it, write a book. And then lo and behold, I wrote a book. And so that blew my mind, that the physical manifestation actually occurred, and I didn't actually mean it. What's even more crazy is going back and looking at my goals in the early part of my life, again, 2000s. I actually had a goal then as well to write a book. And again, I laugh because I don't remember, I have zero recollection of writing that statement. What I do know is my heart's desire has always been to be effective for people, to take what the Lord has given me in terms of knowledge, what the Lord has given me in terms of understanding of human behavior, human communication, the difficulty of life and how we overcome. And in particular, what the Lord has given me in terms of belief systems, truths that transcend human knowledge. I wanted to deliver that to people so that you could be more efficient, effective, happy for yourself. That's always been my heart's desire from kindergarten. I wanted to deliver information. So the fact that in the early 2000s, I wrote the statement, write a book, was pretty revealing to me, and I had to laugh, and that's why I'm sharing this story with you. In the early 2000s, I made it a goal. I wrote a statement in answering the question, what do you want to be when you grow up? What's important to you? What do you feel like you've not done that if you had to physically manifest it, if it was a physical manifestation, what would it look like? And I'd say it looked like a book. I offer my knowledge to people. I want to be someone who brings knowledge, information, not for the sake of knowledge, information, but for the sake of happiness. I want to help you. My heart's desire is to help you be a better version of yourself, whatever that means for you. So I have a formula for you now. So the cool part is every single goal, every single plan that I had for my life has not only been achieved over and over, they have been exponentially exceeded. So if you are not in the habit of writing an annual plan, if you are not in the habit of creating an annual budget and therefore reviewing it, folks, let this be a wake-up call to write something down. And if you don't know how, if you want help, it's part of what I can do for you. You can go to my website, KassandraVitacca.com, and you can actually download videos. There are videos, they're half an hour long approximately, about planning, about annual planning for a budget, annual planning for your goals, about just success planning. So you can go to KassandraVitacca.com and download those videos. There's obviously information in the book, and then there's me. You can reach out and we can chat. We can decide whether maybe we need a coaching relationship. Maybe just for a few months we need to chat for a while, sort of what I call to get you off dead center. It's a lot of what I provide for people is just short-term coaching. I don't tend to coach people for years and years and years and years. I mentor people for years and years and years, but in a formal coaching relationship where you're paying me and we have meetings and you have homework, that's usually a short time frame because you just need to kind of some help to sort of move forward a little. So go ahead and reach out in any way that you find might benefit you. Let's talk and see if I can be of service to you in that respect. Otherwise, I'll put you in touch with somebody who I think could better serve you. All right? Take care. Shalom.